There are millions of species alive on Earth. Some can run faster than us, some can fly, some can breathe underwater, some can navigate in darkness, cross entire oceans, or survive in places where a human wouldn't last a day. Compared to them, human beings can seem remarkably vulnerable. We have no claws, no fangs, no natural armor. We aren't the fastest, and we certainly aren't the strongest. So why did one fragile primate become capable of reshaping an entire planet? Most people would say intelligence, and intelligence certainly matters. But intelligence alone doesn't tell the whole story. Nature is filled with remarkable minds. Dolphins communicate and cooperate. Chimpanzees solve complex problems. Crows use tools. Octopuses explore, learn, and adapt to unfamiliar situations. So why us? What allowed one species to build cities, write poetry, split the atom, walk on the moon, and begin searching for life beyond its own planet? Perhaps the answer wasn't a single invention. Perhaps it wasn't fire, or language, or even intelligence alone. Perhaps it began with a question. Someone looked at the world and refused to believe the story was complete. They wondered, why? And that simple instinct may have changed everything. Long before cities, long before books, long before science had a name, our ancestors lived in a world where survival was never guaranteed. Imagine the African savanna, hundreds of thousands of years ago. The sun is disappearing. The air is growing colder. Somewhere in the distance, something moves through the grass. You have no map, no hospital, no weather forecast. Almost everything around you is uncertain. In a world like that, information isn't entertainment, it's survival. A strange footprint in the mud, birds suddenly becoming silent, fresh marks on a tree. One mind ignores them, another stops, looks closer, and wonders, what happened here? What made those tracks? Where did it go? That difference matters, because a curious mind doesn't simply react to the world, it tries to understand what the world might do next. We may never know exactly how our distant ancestors first learned to control fire. But imagine the kind of mind that discovery required. Lightning strikes, flames rise, fear says, run. But curiosity, from a safe distance, asks you to look again. The flames move, they consume wood, they produce heat, they push darkness away. No chemistry, no theory of combustion, only observation, memory, experiment, wonder. Human history is filled with moments like this. Someone watched branches moving down a river and wondered where the water went. Someone looked at the stars night after night and noticed patterns. Someone struck one stone against another and realized its shape could be changed. The first great human laboratory wasn't a building, it was the world itself. And generation after generation, humans kept experimenting with it. That instinct still lives inside you. Imagine someone saying, I discovered something about you yesterday, and then walking away. Your mind doesn't simply forget, it returns to the gap. What did they discover? Was it good? Was it bad? Why didn't they tell me? You know enough to realize there is something you don't know, and suddenly the missing information becomes valuable. This idea is often described as an information gap, the space between what you know and what you want to know. Your brain is constantly using past experience and incoming information to anticipate what might happen next. What comes next? What does this mean? What am I missing? And when reality violates those expectations, attention can rise. The gap opens. Curiosity pulls you toward it. Dopamine is often called the brain's pleasure chemical, but that description is far too simple. Dopamine is deeply involved in motivation, learning, and reward-related behavior. It doesn't merely celebrate an answer, it can help drive the pursuit. Keep looking, keep exploring. Maybe something valuable is close. That's one reason a mystery can hold your attention longer than a simple explanation. And studies of curiosity suggest something even more interesting. When people become genuinely curious, they can become better at remembering the information they wanted to discover. In some experiments, that curious state has even been associated with better memory for unrelated information encountered around the same time. Curiosity doesn't simply ask the question, it can prepare the mind for the answer. Children seem to understand this naturally. To a child, almost nothing is ordinary. Why is the sky blue? What is that? Where does the moon go? How does this work? When will we arrive? Who made that? Listen carefully, and you begin to hear the architecture of human thought. Why, how, what, when, where, who. 6 ordinary words, but each opens a different door. Why searches for causes? Why does lightning happen? Why do people become sick? Why do objects fall? It pushes the mind beyond the event toward an explanation. Then comes how. How can fire be controlled? How can stone become a tool? How can humans fly? Why searches for understanding? How turns understanding into action? Then what? What is this? What is it made of? What happens if we look closer? The telescope expanded the visible universe. The microscope revealed worlds hidden beneath ordinary sight. And almost every answer created another question. When? When will winter arrive? When should we plant? When should we leave? Humans don't simply experience the present. We can imagine futures that don't yet exist. We prepare for rain beneath a clear sky. We plant seeds for food we cannot eat today. We build things for people we may never meet. Then, where? Where does the river begin? Where is safety? What exists beyond the horizon? That question helped carry humans across landscapes, across continents, across oceans, and eventually, beyond Earth itself. And finally, who? Who can I trust? Who knows something I don't? Who are they? Who am I? Humans didn't build civilization as isolated minds. We learned from one another. One person discovered, another observed, someone remembered, someone taught. A child could inherit an answer to a question asked before they were born. Generation after generation, humanity no longer had to begin from zero. Questions accumulated, knowledge accumulated, culture expanded, civilizations emerged. But curiosity has an enemy, and it isn't ignorance, it's certainty. Think about a child again. A child can ask a ridiculous question without worrying about protecting an identity. Adults are different. We have opinions, reputations, beliefs, and sometimes being right begins to feel more important than discovering what is true. We stop asking, "Could I be wrong?" and begin searching for people who agree with us. Modern technology can make this easier. Recommendation systems learn what captures our attention. Information arrives almost instantly, and familiarity can begin to feel like understanding. But access to information is not the same as possessing a questioning mind. The dangerous moment isn't when you say, "I don't know." Those 3 words can open an entire universe. The dangerous moment is when you become convinced there is nothing left to question. History repeatedly moved forward when someone wondered, someone tested, someone failed, because someone challenged an accepted explanation. Our understanding of disease changed. Our picture of the cosmos changed. Our understanding of Earth's history changed. The boundaries of flight, communication, and space exploration changed. Not every challenge was correct. Not every question led to a breakthrough. But progress required something fundamental: the willingness to test an idea against reality, to look at an accepted answer and sometimes ask, what if we're wrong? That may be one of the most powerful questions the human mind can produce. Not because doubt is always correct, it isn't, but because genuine questioning allows ideas to be tested, evidence to be examined, and understanding to change. Look around you. The screen you're watching, the electricity powering it, the language carrying these thoughts from one mind into another. None of this appeared fully formed. Every telescope, every vaccine, every map, every aircraft, every satellite above Earth exists at the end of a long chain of questions. Someone wondered, someone tested, someone failed, someone asked again. That is one of the hidden stories of humanity. Not merely a story of kings, wars, and empires, but a story of minds refusing to believe the world was fully understood. And perhaps that's what makes curiosity so extraordinary. Every answer can make the universe feel larger. Our ancestors looked at stars and saw lights in the sky. We looked closer and found suns. We looked farther and found galaxies. Then, a universe filled with more galaxies than the human mind can easily imagine. The more humanity discovered, the more we became aware of what remained unknown. And even now, one of the greatest mysteries we've ever encountered is the mind doing the questioning. Your mind, a brain capable of imagining places it has never visited, futures that don't exist, and questions no previous generation could have asked. Somewhere right now, a child is looking at the night sky for the first time. A student is reading an idea that will change their life. A scientist is staring at a result that doesn't make sense. An artist is imagining something no one has seen before. Maybe history will never record the exact moment their question appeared, but it may remember the world that question creates. One day, humanity will ask a question it has never asked before. We don't know what it will be. We don't know where it will be asked or who will ask it. But history suggests one thing. The future has never belonged only to those who believed they had all the answers. Again and again, it has been shaped by those willing to ask the next question. So before you leave, I want to ask you one. What question have you stopped asking? Because the world you live in today was shaped by people who refuse to stop wondering. And the world that comes next may begin with a question only you can ask.